my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to talk about the books that are releasing in July, August, and September that I have added to my anticipated reads list. So that means I want to read them like as close to release date as I can, or hopefully get my hands on them as soon as possible. And so I'm going to talk about the 9 books I have put in. And I don't have 3 per month. No, I don't, because I have 4 in August and only 2 in September. Okay, so July 1st, I have 2 romantic suspense books. The first one is Fire Mountain by DiAnn Mentink. Mentink? I'm not really sure how to say her last name. This is book 1 of a new series called Elements of Danger. And really, I only read the description because of the cover. I love this cover. So what is this book about? In the shadow of a threatening volcano, long-haul trucker Kit Gardeo wakes up in her crushed big rig, unable to recall what happened and why she's suddenly in possession of someone's baby. Fiercely independent, she has to admit that perhaps this time she could use a little help. As the threat of eruption grows, former cop Colin Landry refuses to leave his cabin in the evacuation area, which is why he's the only one left who can help Kit escape the crumpled cab of her truck. He doesn't want to get tangled up in the mystery of the beautiful woman with the abandoned infant, but when he sees the bullet hole in the windshield and the bloody handprint on the interior, he realizes that he's in this thing, like it or not. When 2 armed men with ill intent approach, the race is on to stay alive, discover the truth, and find the baby's missing mother, all while a deadly mountain rains fire from above. I'm not sure exactly where this one is set, but I am very, very intrigued. And I do have an advanced reader copy of this from NetGalley, so I do plan on reading this later this month, just prior to release date, hopefully. Okay, the second book is probably my most anticipated book for July, I think, and that is Shadowed Witness by Angela Carlisle. This is book 2 of the Secrets of Kincaid series, and book 1... Secondary Target, I've just lost the name of it. Secondary Target was one of my favorite books from last year. And I know that the Allie was in book 1, was the sister mentioned in book 1. And she is the main character in this book. Will we see Bryce and Corinne again? I don't know. I'm only going to read a little bit of this description because it is book 2. But murder, that's what photographer Allie Jessup knows she witnessed as she departed her studio one evening. Walking with bruises on her neck and a foggy memory, she believes she survived an attack, but everyone seems to think she simply sustained a head injury from falling down the stairs of her studio. What really happened? Okay. Then on July the 15th, we have The Sands of Sea Blue Beach by Rachel Hauck. This is a contemporary romance, and I love this cover. This is such a pretty cover. And it says, Emery finds herself at a crossroads between her career and a complex family dynamics. Living at home in Cleveland and clinging to memories of her late mother, Emery struggles to connect with her blended family. Seizing the chance for a fresh start, she accepts the position of editor-in-chief at the struggling Sea Blue Beach Gazette. Returning to the Sands Motor Motel in the picturesque Florida town, she is flooded with bittersweet memories and past regrets. Architect Caleb has returned to Sea Blue Beach, a place filled with both cherished and painful memories. He means to make a difference for his family and his hometown by raising his abandoned nephew and preserving the history of Sea Blue Beach as the leader of the new historical society. He never expected to see Emery again, the girl who captured his heart 16 summers ago. So, are we going to get flashbacks from 16 years ago when they were together? And now, I don't know. I kind of hope so because I love flashbacks like that and reconnecting with characters. But I don't know. Okay, then my most anticipated book for August is also a romantic suspense. And it releases August the 5th. And that is Final Approach by Lynette Eason. This is book 4 of the Lake City Heroes series. And because it is book 4, I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it other than it follows the Air Marshal Christine, who we have met in the previous books. And I don't know if we've met the guy, so I'm not even going to tell you his name because I'm not 100% sure on that. But it says Air Marshal Christine is not on duty when a hijacker attempts to seize control of the plane she and her friends are on as they head out on a much-needed vacation. Uh-oh, hijack plane. And this is another one. I absolutely love the cover. And Lynette Eason is one of my favorite authors, so yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Okay, also on August 5th is a historical fiction, and that is Dear Miss Lake by A.J. Pearce. This is book 4 of the Emmy Lake Chronicles. I've only read book 1 and book 2, Dear Mrs. Bird and Yours Cheerfully, but I absolutely loved Yours Cheerfully. It was a 5-star read for me. I do have Mrs. Porter Calling, which is book 3, on my shelves to read. So I kind of had to continue in the series, right? And this one is set London, July 1944. Editor Emmy Lake's career is woman's friends. Wow, I can't even say the name of the magazine. Emmy Lake's career is Woman's Friend magazine. That's why it's not even a proper sentence. Her career at Woman's Friend magazine is a huge success, and she is finally realizing her dream of becoming a war correspondent. On the personal front, oh wait, I don't want to read that because that's going to give away spoilers from book 2. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what it says. So it picks up. Continues with Emmy and her journey through the wartime. Okay, August the 19th, The Bitter End Birding Society by Amanda Cox. This is a women's fiction book, and I read The Edge of Belonging by Amanda Cox earlier this year. Absolutely loved it. And The Secrets of Old Depot Grocery, I absolutely loved as well. So I am really excited to read this one. And it says, hometown hero Anna Lee Watkins ventures to Bitter End, Tennessee, to help her great aunt get her house ready to sell. Bitter End seems an ironic place for Anna to refresh her weary spirit, but she's desperate for respite from her community's attention and unwarranted admiration. While on a hike in Roan Mountain, a ragtag group of amateur birdwatchers take her under their wing, a little against her will. However, she quickly warms to these genuine souls seeking solace in the great outdoors. But when Anna's adventures in Bitter End leave her to a severed branch of her family tree, one that involves the forbidden love between a moonshiner's daughter and a preacher's son. What began as a quest to study Appalachian birds becomes a transformative journey that binds together two women who, though they live on the same street, have been estranged for 60 years. I wonder if this is going to be a dual timeline. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Okay, August the 26th. Danger in the Wilderness by Darlene L. Turner. It's another romantic suspense. This is published by Love Inspired Suspense, and it is book 1 of the National Park Protectors. A search for a kidnapped Wow, I can't read. A search for a kidnapped camper could cost them their lives. Park warden Decker Hoyt father-son camping trip turns into a nightmare when a serial killer abducts his father. With just 72 hours to find him, Decker turns to criminal investigative analyst Blair Tremblay to identify the Park campfire killer. As they follow his taunting clues and face increasing violent threats, Decker and Blair know that one wrong step could be fatal. With the ruthless criminal following their every move, can they stop a killer in hiding, waiting to complete his deadly plan? Yeah. Okay, September 9th, I have 2 books. I have a historical dual timeline, and I have a romantic suspense. So let's start with the historical. The Women of Oakidge by Michelle Shocklee. I read my first Michelle Shocklee book in April, I want to say, just a few months ago. And that was All We Thought We Knew. And I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. I was so invested that I have picked up another book by her since. I haven't read it yet, but I own it. And I've added all her other books to my TBR list. And so I had to add this one. And so it starts out in 1944. We're following Maybelle, I think that's how you say her name, arrives in Oakidge, Tennessee, eager to begin her new government job and send money home to her impoverished family. She knows little about the work she will be doing, but she is told it will help America win the war. Not all is what it seems, however. Then, 1979. Laurel is a graduate student in Boston when she learns about the history of Oakidge, Tennessee, where thousands unknowingly worked on the atomic bomb. Intrigued because she knows her Aunt May was employed there, Laurel decides to spend the summer with her aunt, hoping to add a family connection to her thesis research. But May adamantly refuses to talk about her time in this secret city. Can she get her to talk about it? Will we learn about her time? How does what Laurel learns from 1944 affect her in 1979? I am definitely intrigued. Okay, then the last book is Canyon of Deceit by DiAnn Mills. This is a standalone romantic suspense. And again, it was the cover that drew me in first. I have read a few DiAnn Mills books. I have enjoyed most of what I've read. And so this one says, when wilderness survival expert Teresa Palmer receives a frantic phone call from a former colleague, Professor Rurik Ivanov, I have no idea how to say that name. She is shocked by the news that his young daughter, Elena, is missing, and that Rurik wants Teresa's help to finding her. She's sure Rurik hasn't given her the whole story, especially since he refuses to report the kidnapping to the police. Yet, with a child's life hanging in the balance, Teresa can't turn down the mission. She knows the clock is ticking, and she can't do this alone. So, she reaches out to Texas Ranger Blaine Gardner, whom she met 7 months ago during one of her training courses in the wilderness survival skills. Blaine's specialized training and background with the Crisis Negotiation Unit makes him uniquely prepared for this search and rescue mission. He agrees to help Teresa and to accept Rurik's terms to keep Elena's disappearance quiet. And as the two begin working together, Teresa is determined the spark growing between them won't distract her from their mission to save Elena. So those are the 9 books I've added to my TBR list that I am anticipating that are releasing in July, August, and September. Now, my most anticipated for each month is Shadowed Witness by Angela Carlisle for the month of July. Final Approach by Lynette Eason for the month of August. And The Women of Oakidge by Michelle Shocklee for the month of September. So, are you interested in these books? Have I intrigued you about any of these books? Or what is the book you are most anticipating coming out in the next quarter? I would love to chat in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I would love it if you would like and subscribe and stay tuned for future videos. Have a great day. Bye.